Don't mind everything in the background. I just grabbed this vehicle for my pops. He needed a working truck for his landscaping business. I got a whole bunch of boxes in the back, but that's outside the point. I was just kind of sitting here self-reflecting on, things that's going on in my life and just thinking about how much of an impact the gym has been on my life. And a little bit on my backstory is like, I don't come from money. I don't come from, the best ideal situation, but I did come from a loving home. I did come from a loving family. I did come from, a support system. But our environment put me in and molded this man that I am today due to, just the lack of resources and, street hood ghetto environment that a lot of us kind of have to be raised in. And through that, everybody that you kind of see that's in shape, that's fit, is people who go to jail and people who come out of jail just due to them adopting or meeting somebody or attaching themselves to an organization or just allowing the time to be easier by, locking into a real strict routine that puts them in a situation where they got to really get it in and work and want to just be a better, stronger version of themselves, just being in, the penitentiary. And just that alone in our culture is just like, damn, the only time that you kind of see somebody promoting fitness and health is if they went to jail or, you know what I'm saying, if they just got out and, it don't last long. They come out super swole, just due to the high protein, the 3-4 times a meal, all the hood foods and all the concoctions that they make with noodles and things like that, and just the high protein tuna, just it allowed them to just pack on all of this mass. And once they get out, they get back to their old ways, take pills, drink, smoke, and kind of lose everything that they kind of worked all those years for. So that was my motivation in regards to people in fitness. I never was able to see a situation where a person has a 9 to 5 or entrepreneur and they find time to work out and cater that time to their health. It's always been based off, like I said, the penitentiary or something like that. And culturally, that can make a huge impact on a person's mentality because you damn near create or adopt this mentality like, oh, the likelihood of me going to jail is super high. So if I go to jail, that's when I'll actually start hitting the gym. That's when I'll actually start taking this gym fitness life serious when I'm forced to. And, you know, growing up and kind of always predominantly being a pretty skinny guy, not really being able to, you know, defend for myself because everybody was bigger than me. And, due to the neighborhood that I was in, like it molds you to turn into a monster. It molds you to force you to jump out of this kid, playful, innocent mindset because you got a bully on your street that's gonna try you every day coming from school. And they're gonna beat you up, they're gonna pick on you, and they're gonna keep doing whatever it is to antagonize you to make you get out of that scary mode or mood because that's how people in the hood get off. It's like we prey on the weak. And that's why when you see certain people that come from, situations like this, they honestly was forced to turn into a demon or a monster or, whatever that is. And it's just a cycle over and over and over. Some people get bullied and end up killing something. And that is their outcome of their life. They go to jail or, once you start getting into that type of vibration, you can never be the same. And the reason why I'm giving you these examples of, things that I actually had to experience, growing up, all my homies, all my friends, just strictly going to the streets, strictly going to, you know, having a juice. And if you don't know what the juice is Tupac and some other actors back in the day came out with a movie and it was called Juice. And basically, the juice is like you go from an innocent kid to just Debo and having a mentality like if anybody play with me or try to take advantage of me, I'm gonna handle them in a way that everybody in the neighborhood knows not to play with me or not to deal with anybody that's around me because I'm gonna handle them, I'm gonna take care of them. And you know, having these all these different dynamics around you, you don't even care about fitness no more. You just care about grabbing a gun and being around your clique or your community or your gang or your organization. So you got some protection just in case anything does pop off. And I take fitness and everything so serious because it's one thing that I know that I can take a kid or a boy or a man into a situation where it will only make their life better, that will only make them, you know, a better version of themselves. And if they're dealing with trauma and they're dealing with pain and they dealing with all these dynamics of the world, you know, at least the gym can allow you to press all that anger and issues and just traumas and just allow you to direct that energy towards something outside of killing somebody, you know, or robbing somebody or hurting somebody. And the reason why it's like I even got into fitness because, you know, to the point that I was saying, you know, going and being in these neighborhoods and being picked on and bullied, I only was able to get bullied and picked on. And, you know, I'm riding my bike and somebody, you know, come in front of me, try to be cool and nice, like, oh man, I like this bike. Let me ride it. I'm going to just go ride it up the street. And then they take your bike and you never see it again. Or somebody just pull up on you and say, give me your bike. And you either going to fight them or you going to give them your bike. And your mama just bought you that bike for Christmas. And you know you can't go home without that bike. So now you forced to fight or defend yourself when you ain't even never been in that position. And that can be the scariest experience, and that can create a form of trauma that will form in a man that if anybody try to take anything from me, I'ma handle them because they know that feeling when they was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 years old when somebody actually tried them and they had to make a decision. And with this fitness, it's such a life-saving situation because like what can you do in today's time outside of fitness that you can actually exert your body and your body be in pain and everything across the board of you just not being, you know, mentally and physically able to perform whatever these workouts are, and be in a position where over time you learn and you get stronger and you get better and you get more knowledge and you get more insight. And when you have all this anger and build up and all that you deal with of the world and you don't have an outlet, you're gonna go to drugs, you're gonna go to sex, you're gonna go to anything that will allow you to feel like mentally you can release it. And if we don't release these things and we keep letting it ball up, ball up, ball up, that's when somebody snaps, lose it, hurt somebody. Like the list just goes on and on. So, you know, this fitness thing is not just you know, working out, getting on Instagram and, you know, trying to just get some females or, you know, whatever your situation is. This thing is real. This thing is actually saving people's life, putting people in positions to just be better. And I can personally say it definitely saved mine because I could never direct my energy towards anything that will actually release everything that I'm dealing with and everything that I'm feeling. And, that's an issue. That's a problem, especially in our culture and in our society. We are not being pushed and motivated to be more health driven and health conscious, because everything else is distracting us. And to the point, I'm saying you can't just take fitness like it's a, let's just say, an option. We're past it being an option. We're past it being something that, you know, we gonna do sometimes and not gonna do. It has to be a part of what we honestly want in our lives and everything, because I cannot imagine my life without the gym at this stage of my life, because it's something about fighting for something. Me being a naturally skinny guy, um, and really having to fight and eat and eat and eat and eat and eat and lift and just exhaust my body so much just to gain, just to just be in the mix, just to, this is outside of, taking steroids or, anything to enhance my muscle development. And I ain't shunning nobody to do anything, because you can take as much steroids as you want. If you not a monster or a beast or a dog, you still not gonna get big. You're just gonna get puffy and have a whole bunch of acne. But if you really develop that dog in you, or you already have that dog in you, regardless if you take it, don't take it, your work ethic will begin to reflect and show in your muscle physique. And that's really what it's ultimately about. It's about just looking better, feeling better, just being in a better position to just, you know, love yourself and be happy with who you are, and not be so self-conscious, and not be so in your head, and not be so, wrapped up in what you see. It's just like it allows you to take the time to truly love yourself and 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 believe in yourself. And with this workout shit, it's just like when we all start, we don't know what the fuck we doing. We doing the same shit, benching. We're not gonna do legs. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just so far fetched. It's like, nah, I'm gonna be too sore. That comes in time when you understand how important it is. But at the beginning, it's just curls and bench press and push ups, and guess what? All of that forms a body, a physique, a mindset, a discipline. So whatever it is that you know to do to work out to get this thing started, it's like, yeah, we gonna do that, and we gonna keep doing that, and we gonna consistently do that to the point where, you know, nothing gets in our way of our goals. And I just want to encourage you, um, that you have to take this health and fitness journey extremely serious. You can no longer afford not to take the next necessary steps to take your health, life, and mindset to the next level. You have to make a decision today that I am going to be better than I was yesterday, and just be practical and real, and not and stop trying to make it seem like you about to be Arnold. You about to be this whatever it is. This thing is a journey, just like anything else in life. So um let's just be serious, man. Let's lock in. And I do have coaching. I do have online coaching. I would love to help you. I would love to, take you through my program. If you skinny and need to gain weight, I got you. If you big and you need to lose weight, I got you. If you're already fit and you just want to be in a better position, I got you. This would be great.